this might be game.
Yeah, it's
just one push and that's
Look
it.
at that. We've got every single kind of dragon, apart from Electro Dragon. Look at all of that mess. This is insane. Oh, the rocket, we've seen that before. Will it be enough?
But the double rocket comes out. That'll be enough.
That's it. And in the, actually on the, the longest
5 HP in that top left with 3 seconds left. That could be the point.
Brought to you by Vodafone. The future is exciting. Are you ready? TCL for the next level visual technology. And JBL, enhance the way you listen.
Good afternoon and good evening, Clash Royale fans, and welcome to the High School League Clash Royale Split 1. We are broadcasting live to you tonight from Auckland, New Zealand, inside of the Sky Tower. My name is Jonathan Arkadian Jansen, and I am joined tonight by my lovely co-host and expert analyst, Belinda Hope, aka Blendy. How are you doing this evening?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me here.
No, not a problem at all. We have some exciting games coming to you tonight from the High School League with our new birthday event being the first week with some new cards. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the tournament structure for tonight. So we have 65 teams across 35 different schools battling it out in 6 groups of 12 teams. This is going to be a single round robin over 6 weeks of league play, and the top teams in each group will proceed into 3 weeks of playoffs to crown Australia and New Zealand's best high school Clash Royale team.
Wouldn't that be amazing to take away that title?
Absolutely. To be able to earn that title, teams must win a best of 3 match. In set 1, we'll be doing a 2v2, which will be a best of 1, where teams will pick their 2 best players to battle it out in the first set. In set 2, we will be a 1v1, which will be a best of 3. So teams must pick a player that has not competed so far in the 2v2, and they'll need to win 2 of 3 of those games to battle it out. Are we expecting to see any sort of different strategies coming out in set 1 versus set 2?
Yeah, absolutely. I think some players are going to become specialists in 2v2, specialists in 1v1. They're working together as a team when they're playing 2v2. They've got 2 separate decks that work really well together, and I think that'll be really exciting to see that play out.
Absolutely, and if after those first 2 games it is still a draw 1-all, we will be having a set 3, which will be a 1v1 King of the Hill tiebreaker. Can you tell us a little bit more about what we can expect from that?
So this is where all the players kind of play off against each other. So it's 1v1, the loser of that is subbed in, the next player comes along, and they continue until it's a knockout.
Last man standing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. And for all of this, we will be looking at some fantastic prizes thanks to Vodafone New Zealand. The winners of the entire tournament will be walking away with 750 New Zealand dollars worth of Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, or Vodafone credit. For second place, $525, and for third place, $300.
That's incredible.
How about that? The fact that you can play, I'm going to say, mobile games or video games in high school to earn cash prizes. I mean, when I personally was in school, there was not a single extracurricular activity that you could play that could earn those sorts of prizes.
Well, this is obviously the place to be. So
as well as those amazing prizes, we also have from TCL the Plex mobile phone with 499 Australian dollars up for grabs. 3 of those for the winning team. Let's take a look at the TCL Plex mobile.
The new TCL Plex mobile phones. See visuals come to life on a premium 6.3-inch HD display powered by its own display engine developed by TCL. With triple rear cameras and a long-lasting, fast-charging battery at a great price, the TCL Plex is the perfect all-rounder phone.
How good is that? Going to school on Monday with a brand new TCL phone after you've won the Clash Royale tournament?
Absolutely. It'll make your gaming so much more exciting.
That would be amazing. And so let's take a look at today's schedule to see what we can expect. So to start off, we have Nossal from Nossal High School versus Rusty Boots from the Catholic Regional College in Melton at 6 p.m. These times are New Zealand times. We have Flinders Crabs from Flinders Christian Community College versus Elixir at Bream Bay College at 6:20. And we have Oates from Mount Albert Grammar School versus Wrath of Frost, also from Mount Albert Grammar School, at 6:40. Now keep in mind that these matches can be longer or shorter depending on the match, and so if you do have a particular game that you want to watch or catch up on, just be sure to stay tuned throughout the entire broadcast. So let's take a look at our head-to-head. For the first game, we have Rusty Boots versus Nossal High School.
Now we've got some great players that are going to be playing this one today. From Rusty Boots, we've got Cooker Chooks, whose 5-year-old sister thinks she's good at Wii Sports bowling, but he beats her.
The classic Big Brother move. And it's Christo said, he told us, we asked them, we want some in-depth information. He said, I can rub my tummy and pat my head at the same time. And he has a dog named Max.
This is incredible. Fantastic. And they're up against Nossal. The players are Clyde, who's a former Victorian under-15 badminton player, and Kichitu, who's a former national youth chess champion. Fantastic.
And Lil Smash, who's their team captain, we'll talk about him a little bit more later, but he has been referred to as a decent soccer player.
Nice.
So that's a pretty good resume coming up from those two teams.
Shall we have a look at the banned cards for this upcoming 2v2?
Yeah, so the 2v2 is going to start off first. I believe that we've got Rusty, who's banned the balloon, and we've got, who's the other bans?
Ram Rider, Nossal have banned Ram Rider. So in this 2v2 battle, no balloon, no Ram Rider.
That should be. And are we expecting, last week we sort of didn't quite see the traditional decks you'd maybe expect watching a Clash Royale tournament. Do you think that this week we're going to see some more meta picks, or are they going to, would you be surprised if something out of the blue popped up?
Well, let's thinking about out of the blue popping up. Seeing as we had the birthday challenge this week, I'm really curious to see whether anybody is incorporating the new card, the Royal Delivery. Is only a few days too short to be able to work that into your deck, or has it been a fun challenge and we'll see some of that new card action? Well,
everyone, so the Royal Delivery came out with the birthday event, which happened last week, just after we finished our broadcast. Is it possible for someone to even earn that card so far?
Yes, well, there was that challenge that you could play. It was quite a difficult challenge, to be fair, but let's get into the match.
And let's see if someone does pull out the cards. So on the top we have Nossal, and on the bottom on the blue side we have Rusty Boots. Some emotes coming out to start off with.
We've got double baby dragon coming out from both sides.
A little bit of support. Interesting start off. Both going onto the right side.
The baby dragons will fight it out amongst themselves, leaving the executioner and what else have we got coming out?
We've got a big P.E.K.K.A coming through with the executioner versus another P.E.K.K.A and the frost, or the ice wizard.
And the rocket will do a fair bit of damage there, taking out some of that collateral.
Nossal off to an early start though. That is a little bit of chip damage on the Nossal's tower. With a nice little Tesla for defense.
Now they're all just saving up their elixir to see what's going to come out next.
An aggressive push from Rusty Boots on the left side. Quickly shut down. Great defense.
Got a few little guys coming out that are just going to go up the right-hand side there, but they'll probably be taken out by the tornado.
That's a great elixir trade for value for Rusty Boots.
Now we've got our baby dragon face-off again.
And we've just gone through our first cycle, so we pretty much know what each team has in their cards at this point.
Very sensible decks, I think. They've got their air attacks, their land attacks, the executioner can take out quite a few different things there. So
it is very well balanced. The interesting thing here I see is that for Rusty Boots, we have a little bit of chip damage on the left tower, whereas Nossal has a little bit of chip damage on their right tower. So the fight really wants to move onto the right side for Rusty Boots.
There was a nice giant snowball that came out. Now that was actually the most popular card in the Clash World Cup games.
A Royal Giant set up here, takes down the Tesla. Fantastic defense.
We've got 40 seconds to go, and still no towers are taken out.
I really like Nossal's, the way that they've moved the game onto the left side of the map. Forcing Nossal or Rusty Boots to have their defense on that side. It's really made the chip damage they put on the right tower pretty artificial. 1,500 health left on the Princess Tower.
Who is going to take out the first tower though? I feel like we're definitely going to be going into overtime to finish this game off.
It's a big push coming through on the left side, and they've dropped one P.E.K.K.A on the right. It's going through that low tower.
Will that be able to do some damage? Oh, they're following it up with an executioner.
Definitely going out of regulation time here into overtime. Sudden death, so the next tower wins the next crown. The first thing to drop is going to dictate the winner of this match. We've got a big P.E.K.K.A coming through on the left.
It's a very evenly matched game.
You can see both teams are wanting to try and, while holding enough Elixir to make a defense, they're wanting to try and come through and just take out that tower.
Now that Royal Giant should be able to do a fair bit of damage, but it's got quite a lot of defense going on there.
It is a strong push coming through on Nossal's side down that channel,
That
1400
Royal
health.
Giant got no damage in.
And Rusty Boots are putting up a fantastic defense. But this is a big push coming through. They've got quite a lot of Elixir banked up. Nossal have got a lot of momentum pushing through on this side. Rusty Boots will need to defend this quite well to keep up. And a big rocket.
Yeah, that
a lot of value.
Excellent choice there. So that allows their push to move ahead slightly. Let's see, can we do it?
And then again, another big push. One miner coming out of the left side,
Yeah,
off
that's
the right
actually
side.
getting in some good damage there. And those goblins, can we get any of them under 1,000?
Chipping down, 50 seconds left. Now, just a reminder, if 50 seconds runs out, it'll go down to a tiebreaker, which will be the lowest unit will die first, which will dictate our winner. Inferno Tower sitting up there being a great defense for that right channel. A huge attack coming down the left side. They really want to take out that Princess Tower.
Should be saving up for their rocket to get that big crowd under control again. I expect we'll see a rocket.
30 seconds left. Only 390, 160.
Oh, look at that.
And it's done.
Oh.
Nossal taking out the bottom left side. That was absolutely fantastic gameplay with 26 seconds left on the clock, and they managed to take it out. Well, for a match that was worth, that's the first set of the game. That's 1 point on the board that they cannot get taken away, and considering I really like the way that Nossal was able to take that initial push that came up on the right side, move the whole game over onto the left, and they basically just ignored the right channel the entire game.
Absolutely. They had done a bit of damage in the beginning, but I think they'd sort of written that off to try and get that push up the other side. That was really, really well matched. Two excellent teams playing at the top of the game, both defending and attacking very equally.
And they had a good mix of cards. We spoke about it a little bit during the game where we were talking how they had air defense, they had air units, ground, clearance. There was a lot of different pieces going on. Obviously very important in building in a deck in a 2v2 like this.
Yeah, they both had a building as well. So one of them had the Inferno Tower, one of them had the Tesla. So that, that can help to either block cards from coming into the tower, but also attacking them as well. So that was good to see. Nice deck.
Oh, fantastic. And so coming into the next game, we will eventually be looking into the next 1v1. And so for the 2v2, we've had that match that sort of happened and they've gone on. And now coming into the 1v1, we've got two new players coming in, which I believe, who have we got running into the 1v1s?
Rusty, we've got Solomon, whose favourite card is Rage Spell because he loves the colour purple, which is great. And in his spare time, he likes doing jigsaw puzzles with his dad, which is excellent. Maybe he can get his dad in Clash Royale as well.
So Solomon, the Rage Spell loving, purple loving jigsaw puzzles versus the team captain of Nossal, Little Smash. Now, Little Smash is an interesting bio here because he's told us that he has beaten Sir Tag CR, which I believe here in the Clash Royale sphere, you'll know who that is. He's a former Clash Royale pro, 2x 20-win challenge winner, regular Twitch streamer, and he's beaten him in one of the grand challenges before.
That's pretty impressive.
That's if I was Solomon going up against someone with that kind of resume, I would be concerned.
Well, let's see how it goes. Now, we've got our two banned cards for this series of games. We've got Golem and Poison.
Yeah, so Golem's coming out on the Rusty Boots side, so they'll be out of the match. And we will see that take off right now. So we'll see. It's a scary start. Both teams have run on 10 Elixir, and the miner comes out to start off the match. And there was a little bit of Elixir leak there. That's 2 Elixir down straight from the start. With the Electric Dragon defense, here comes the Elixir Golem.
Yeah, now this is an interesting card because, well, once it destroys, it breaks into multiple smaller golems and then it breaks into smaller elixir bubbles, which also continue to attack. But whoever destroys the elixir bubbles gains that elixir.
Ah, and it's interesting because they banned the golem in this match, and he's replaced it with a very similar card as with the Elixir Golem.
Very smart.
And so he might be taken down too far on that. A little bit of Elixir leaked on both sides, but pretty much even right now. going back and forth. The healer comes out. The chip damage on that Elixir Golem got a lot of damage on Solomon's tower on the bottom there. He's currently running through some extra Elixir just to get the positioning perfect for those minions to take down the healer. And here comes the next cycle. So he's going to push again. The mortar comes down. It's going to be taken out pretty handily by the baby dragon.
Yeah, that's a very good combo. The baby dragon taking out that mortar, and the Elixir Golem should be able to finish off that tower, I would expect, but a very strong defense.
It's very tough for Solomon really to do anything about this. That's just a fantastic push on through, and already we've seen one of the princess towers drop onto the king tower, bringing it down to 3,100 health.
Yeah, see, those elixir bubbles are doing a significant amount of damage on their own.
Absolutely, they just brought it down to under 3,000 health on the king tower. He's going to try and fight back with another miner, but I just don't think that's going to be enough. 60 seconds left in the match. Currently, Little Smash is taking a commanding lead, bringing out the healer.
And our favourite, the Elixir Golem in this match, comes back again, supported by the battle healer.
I think, based off what we've seen so far, it's just got too much momentum. I don't think that Solomon would really be prepared for this kind of strategy. This is just so potent. And here comes an absolutely massive attack on the Princess Tower. That's knocking it down, and he's got more momentum to go into the King Tower. With 20 seconds left, I don't think Little Smash is just going for the towers. He's going for completely wipe.
Absolutely.
This will not be a technical victory on this match. Healer comes through, wipes out the small attack that he's got through. 5 seconds left. This is all but over, ladies and gentlemen. And that's it. Good game. Fantastic. Little Smash from Nossal taking it out, adding to the first win for the 2v2. Now, the 1v1s are a best of 3, and so this isn't quite over just yet. But the fact that they were able to pull out, that was a commanding performance.
Absolutely. I wonder if we'll see the same cards again on this one. Is that Elixir Golem going to be the winner for this round?
What kind of answer could you prepare for the Elixir Golem?
Well, you need a lot of troops to be able to quickly take it out and quickly destroy it into its bubbles, and then be able to destroy those bubbles. So Minion Horde is quite good for that. Any of the other combo troops, maybe Barbarians, anything that can quickly attack it, break it down, and then also claim those bubbles so that you get that added elixir bonus.
And I guess one of the built-in drawback mechanics is the Elixir Golem is when those final elixir blobs or bubbles do pop, they do give you elixir, and so you'd want to be running down you'd want to make sure you're using those and you're not getting it wasted once you're at your max elixir that you're holding.
Absolutely, so you need to follow that up with something else that can attack those as well. So yeah, it costs a reasonable amount to play, but you also need to have some backup, but then to defend against it you need to be able to spend a bit of elixir to gain that elixir.
Yeah, which I think is it's a pretty decent mechanic. I just hope that we'll be able to see Solomon prepare something or come through. If you were sitting in Solomon's shoes or seat, or sitting in his seat, standing in his shoes, would you change this up completely, or would you be making a small adjustment?
Well, let's find out. I think maybe it might need to upgrade the fireball to something a little bit more.
Maybe a rocket?
Well, something in between a fireball and a rocket. Let's see if the cards have been changed up at all.
And it looks like straight away that we haven't seen goblins yet coming out from Little Smash's side, and so he might have swapped out something called Together.
Yeah, and we've got a princess, which is a good choice because that can help to take out those elixir bubbles.
It looks like he's going to be going for a bit of a rush now, but Solomon's woken up the King Tower, which with the deck so far, that looks like goblins, minions. A rush is going to be very hard for him now, waking up that extra defense.
That would have been an accidental move, I imagine, because you don't want to wake up the King Tower until later on in the game once the first tower's gone, because that just adds an extra cannon to destroy what you're trying to play.
And it looks like so far the cards we've seen in play are all relatively low health, and so that's going to make defending or attacking, much more difficult.
We've got goblins against goblins, all level 9s. They'll just take each other out. And goblin barrel coming out directly at the tower. Oh, nicely destroyed by that snowball.
Nice counter there from Little Smash. It looks like from his he's got a lot of control over this map so far. We've had the right side Princess Tower from Rusty Boots taking a little bit of chip damage, and so far the 2 goblin barrels thrown by Solomon haven't managed to do very much. An Inferno Tower though, nice defense.
Yeah, that's a good placement of the Inferno Tower.
Let's see if the Prince or the Warrior can go in, and I always get the Warrior and the Prince confused.
Well, the Princess is doing a good job in this game because it's taking out all of the smaller players like the goblins there, and from that distance it can start chipping away at the Executioner, but the Princess won't survive an Executioner attack.
No, that's one throw and gone. Quick defense from Little Smash's side to just wipe out the attempted attack on his Princess Tower, and now we have the Hog Rider coming in with the minions, make quick work of the Inferno Tower, and it looks like we're going to start to see a little bit of a push here.
But there was excellent use of the Inferno Tower to distract those other cards from coming in, because it meant that the Princess Towers could attack them as well and destroy it before they received any damage at all.
And once again the Goblin Barrel gets thrown and the Ice Ball just comes through and completely wipes out the attempt.
Now, I think the placement of the Princess should be slightly behind the building, because then it would not be hit by the Executioner and it would have been able to stay out long enough to have one single shot to get those goblins as well.
With 5 seconds left in the game, Mash, no towers will be taken, so we'll be continuing into overtime.
Very good defense and very good attacks here. We've got Goblin Barrel coming out. We've got the Executioner, which just takes out everything. We need something quite powerful against that, and I think in this game the Inferno Tower is the answer. And
there you go, exactly as you say it. He plays it through. The Princess positioning has adjusted a little bit to the side there to keep her alive a little longer. And another attempted attack here, and shut down again, being cycled through very well from Little Smash.
I think this is a game where the Princess is a good choice, but perhaps it needs to be supported by Clone, perhaps, so you can get double Princess out, or Mirror.
Yeah, Clone is an interesting choice. I mean, Princess is essentially one shot anyway, and so you don't really have to worry too much about their health. And the Hog Rider not quite able to get all the way through, but Little Smash on Nossal's side is successfully chipping away at that tower at a much faster rate. We have 1 minute left in overtime, down to 600 health on the Princess Tower versus 2,000 working up that right channel. It's looking in favour of Little Smash at this moment in time.
Now we've got a Valkyrie and Executioner together. That is a pretty difficult combo to try and combat.
And he's just leaving the goblins this time. He's leaving the back tower, he's using the extra mana to get that one more attack unit out, and it looks like it's a good game being called. He played that phenomenally. Good game on Little Smash's side, and that would be the best of 3. That's 2 matches down for Little Smash on Nossal, which means Nossal is victorious in this first showdown versus Rusty Boots from Catholic Regional College in Melton. Fantastic first game.
Absolutely.
What were the key things you took away from that?
From that particular game, I think the combo of having the Executioner, well, the Executioner featured quite regularly throughout there. That was very well played, and then also adding in the Valkyrie as well. Those are 2 cards, 2 players that are difficult to combat and defend against, and so having those together is pretty scary.
It was. And, I mean, they showed a phenomenal showing. And the 2v2 at the start was very close. That was a it went all the way to 20 seconds left in the overtime bout. And so I'm a little bit of a shame that I think we had 2 very strong teams versing each other tonight. And unfortunately, Nossal just came out on top.
Yeah, they were very well matched though, so we are seeing excellent players here, so well done.
Fantastic. And we will be right back. We'll be right back after this commercial break to come on to our next games, and so stay tuned.
Good to see you too.
Thanks, Lee.
And welcome back to the High School League Clash Royale, broadcasting live from Auckland City here in the Sky Tower. For those of you who are just joining us, my name is Jonathan Arkadian Jansen, and we are joined with my host, Belinda Hope, aka Blendy. We've just seen a fantastic first game from Nossal versus Rusty Boots, which is Nossal High School versus Catholic Regional College in Melton. And for tonight now, we'll be here seeing our next set of matches come through, which let's take a look at the head-to-head. So we're going to be seeing Flinders from Flinders Christian Community College versus Elixir from Green Bay College here in New Zealand. And tonight we've got a little bit of information about them again. What can we see about Flinders?
Well, Flinders, we've got Wakanda and Wookie Gas who are playing in the 2v2, and Wakanda loves to use Inferno, Tower and Goblin Barrel, and a bit of a mixture of that, so we'll look forward to seeing how that plays out.
I like to hear he's a fan of the Inferno. And we've also got Green Bay College, who's told us that this is their first ever esports team.
That's great.
Isn't that fantastic? And his goal is to create a small community within the school that gets involved in these kinds of things in esports, which I think is such a, it's a great thing that is possible to happen and something that can be done in this day and age.
Yeah, well, fantastic. And I think that that carries on with one of their players, a pink-potted parrot, who apparently has only been playing Clash Royale for 2 weeks and is already as skilled as the rest of the team members. So they've got some great esports strategies and support going on in their school. So that's fantastic to hear.
That sentence can kind of be taken one of two ways. To say that you've got a new player who has only been playing for 2 weeks and they're as good as the rest of the team either tells you that he is an absolute genius or that you might be in trouble in this next match. And I think that time will only tell us what the answer to that one is. But I'm really loving these descriptions this week. This is our second week into the High School League Clash Royale, and being able to know a little bit more about our teams is really, really helpful. And so we haven't talked to anyone about this. This isn't verified or official or anything, but I think that we should introduce an unofficial Caster's Choice Award for
absolutely.
For the team that comes in with the best description, who tells us a little bit about their life. Like from Catholic Regional College in Melton, from Rusty Boots, I love to know that Cookachooks can beat his little sister at Wii Bowling.
Yeah, absolutely. This is finding out about our players, and so I think every week we'll award a prestige award for the most interesting stats about yourself and that we can share.
To be completely clear, this is not official. There are no monetary prizes involved. This is purely just for the absolute honour and prestige of our appreciation of the teams.
Yeah, put it on your Instagram. Tell your friends, that you're the greatest.
Put it on your CV. Why not? Just check it out there with your job applications. And so we'll come down to that at the end of the broadcast. And so stick around if you want to see. Maybe a team hasn't won a game tonight, but maybe they will win the Caster's Prestige Award. But getting right into the game with the 2v2 coming out with Flinders Crabs versus Elixir, Fanboy, and Roud. Wookie Gas and Wakanda.
Now we've got some bans for this game, which is Lava Hound and Inferno Tower, which is going to be fascinating because Wakanda had specifically said Inferno was their favourite. So we shall see how that works out.
A little bit of inside knowledge there, taking them out. It's a very fast-paced game coming out straight from the start. On the left-hand channel, some chip damage coming down against Elixir's Princess Tower, and there's a lot going on right now with the Baby Dragon coming on through. Perfect positioning of the Magic Archer.
Yes, the Magic Archer is one of my favourite cards cards because it can go through everything. It can go through buildings, through air and the land cards as well. So it's a very, very good card. It's like Princess, but better.
And the battle ram there, taking out the bomb tower quite successfully, which was good. We have a frost golem coming through, but after that initial little bout, we have Elixir's, both Elixir's Princess Towers are on about 1500 health, which is fantastic pressure because Flinders Crab's right-hand bottom tower has just not been touched at all. As I say that, it got hit by the Princess. Another big attack coming through on the right-hand channel, and a split attack coming through with the mini pecker on the left.
The mini pecker nicely distracted by that miner, but still manages to get through.
Huge damage coming down on the right channel. Princess Tower just got knocked out with 1:30 left to go. This is an early tower. It's looking like a fantastic game currently for Flinders.
And look, the log arrow combo takes it down to 100 points left. That should go down with the next attack.
Now we've got the King Towers, the double King Towers have woken from their slumber with their cannons ready. The bomb tower defending again on that right side.
Nice fireball.
Easily taken out. Great start here from Flinders Crabs, and now all they really need to do to secure the victory is just hang tight for 60 seconds.
Absolutely. They can take this out. We've got a baby dragon coming down. What's going to defend that?
Surprisingly, not a lot of defense there. They kind of held those archers a little bit longer. They let the damage come through. 800 health on the Princess Tower.
Now I'm curious to see that the prince was placed at the bridge rather than closer up. That prince was obviously designed to take out that bomb tower in the middle rather than trying to get the King Tower.
And another attack here coming down on the Princess Tower. I wonder if Flinders is going to make the decision to try and go for the King Towers or just defend.
Might as well just defend at this point. You've got 25 seconds left, but you still want to play and have fun, so let's see what you can take out.
And here comes a big attack through. They're going to get that Princess Tower. Only 15 seconds left. They did defend against it, and they've got mounted a pretty formidable attack on the right-hand side. Here we go. 7 seconds left in the game, and it doesn't quite look like they're going to go for the King Towers. But they're not quite going to get there, and Elixir aren't going to end up taking down any of the Princess Towers.
They were so close, only 104 left to go. It would have been nice if they could have got at least one tower.
That was a pretty impressive showing. That was very clinical for Flinders Crabs. They did a fantastic job splitting the pressure across the different sides of the map. They forced Elixir to end up having to defend on multiple sides of the things. What's the key takeaway from that? What do you think is the one factor that ended up giving Flinders the advantage?
I think that they had a good deck, really. I mean, they've got a whole variety of things that were doing attacking and defence at the same time. They had their buildings as well that distracted a lot of the attacks as well. So yeah, it was great.
And you saw a lot on Flinders' side. They placed their units sort of in the centre of the map, and so it ended up splitting them across the two lanes.
Yes.
What's the strategic advantage for something like that?
Well, because then you lose the effect of the damage that could potentially happen that was heading up one channel. It's now split, and then also the building in the middle will probably take all of that damage, and then you end up with 0 attacks on the towers.
Sure. All right, well, heading into the next 1v1, we're going to be seeing, let's do a quick breakdown of the players we're expected to be seeing into the next match. And so on Flinders' side, we are seeing Taunting Chris. Now, do we know anything about Taunting?
Yes, he wants to give a huge thanks to his clan, Taunt Limit, for the constant support they've given and enable him to be at the level that he is today. So that's a nice shout out.
That is incredibly wholesome. That to have
Very
a
good.
supporting clan in your Clash Royale game. And then for Elixir on Bream Bay College's side, we've got the 1v1. Now, I believe we just saw Raxith. He was in the 1v1 just then, and so I'm thinking that potentially we could be seeing a substitute pink-potted parrot coming in on the 1v1.
Well, he's the one who's only been playing for a couple of weeks, so let's see how he goes.
And here he is versus Taunting Chris, who has the support of his clan behind him, versus the relatively new player in pink-potted parrot.
We've got a bit of an emote battle going on while we wait.
And the match has started, one with a Mega Minion versus a Baby Dragon.
Oh, and the Golem is coming out for this.
Now, for the bans for this match, what won't we see?
We will not be seeing Wall Breakers or Expo.
No Expo on one side coming in and then bringing in the Golem is a very effective strategy.
Now look what's happened here. We've had that tornado that has drawn the Golem to the King Tower. So it's woken up the King Tower, but actually it's doing some pretty serious damage to that and the Princess Tower. That was Probably not how it was intended to go, but that was
So
serious.
that's a pretty common strategy where they force the king tower to wake up for the stronger defense, right?
Yes.
But to expect to take it down almost 1,000 health, well, probably wasn't intended. A little bit more chip damage coming down on the side. Fairly even at this point, most of the battle happening in the right channel. 2,100 on both the Princess Towers, fairly even, with a Witch and a Mega Minion coming up against the little Mini P.E.K.K.A. Made quick work of that. And we've got the Dark Knight coming through against the Mini P.E.K.K.A. on the right channel, on the left channel. I'm wondering if he's going to have to deal with that, or if he's going to let that come through. Very effective tornado.
Now it's Baby Dragon versus Baby Dragon.
Versus Tower.
Yes, absolutely. Now that Baby Dragon took no damage from that little interaction, and now it can get to that tower fully charged to do its maximum damage.
And so he traded a little bit of chip damage, but he ended up coming out on top for that placement. He did wait until... Is it common for them to wait until it starts attacking the tower to save the unit's health?
Yes, yes, I would do that. Now we've got Golem versus Golem. Here we go.
Now the red golem's going to get to the bridge first, and if maybe be in range to start taking some support damage from the Princess Tower, that might influence the outcome of this. Is he quite going to get there? It's going to be close.
Now the golems should just walk right by each other because they attack buildings. So we're relying on everything else as the support.
That is a lot of damage coming out right on top of that bridge. Lots of spells being dropped. Didn't quite hit the whirlwind on those little baby golems. 900 health on the Princess Tower. 30 seconds left in this match, and they have certainly chosen their sides of the battlefield. The Dark Knight coming through.
Now what we saw there with those two golems, because one was placed slightly closer to the bridge, it did reach there and it did all of the attack. The one that was placed at the back was destroyed by the time it got there.
So good placement decision there from Elixir on Pink Potted Parrot. And 5 seconds left in the match. We're going to continue on through. Look, I have to say that for someone who started this game 2 weeks ago, he's doing very, very well.
Absolutely.
I think it answered our question earlier. Is he a genius or is the team in trouble? He might be a genius.
And now, look, this golem has split in half. The bomber is doing a little bit of chip damage.
A lot of damage coming through on overtime.
Take it out. Oh, no, it doesn't.
Fantastic defense there, just in the nick of time. 400 health left on the Princess Tower. 1 minute 30 into overtime, which means that the second one of those towers dies. He draws the golem away, takes the defense.
Nice work. And the baby dragon has just got a little bit of life there.
He's completely wasted the golem by moving him across to the other side of the map.
That's incredible use of that strategy, because I don't think that golem's going to be able to take out the full tower on its own.
No,
but
he's
currently it's not defended.
It's not. It is doing a lot of damage. He's going to drop the Dark Knight there for a little bit of support. And so here comes a critical decision. They're going to have to either rush that tower or try and move them across.
But up the top we have the other golem, which is also being affected by the tornado.
1 minute left to go, but it's not going to get there with the zap as well. And
yes,
the poison.
It does. Nice work.
Well played, with 400 health left on the bottom left-hand Princess Tower.
We have not seen anything quite like that before, have we?
That was phenomenally well played. Both players performed amazing mechanics. Pink Potted Parrot almost stuck in there, but that's going to be the first game over to Taunting Chris, and well deserved.
Well done. I really liked how that the golem was distracted and then wasted, but then also kind of forgotten about, and there was no elixir left to be able to spend anything for defending it, because we had, going up the right-hand side, too much going on.
And he did a great job defending that, because he used the little elixir that he had to sort of stall that attack, and if he hadn't have done that, then Pink Potted Parrot would have got that straight away. But the fact that he was able to actually distract that and then almost get that tower on the right-hand side.
Incredible.
It was
well done.
Very close. That could have been anyone's game. But that is going to put the current standings. This is a best of 3 1v1, and that is going to be the first game out of the way for this piece, and then we will be heading into the second game shortly. But what do you expect for... I mean, Pink Potted Parrot was so close there. Could he make a small adjustment to maybe bring this back in the next game?
Well, let's see how we go. I mean, we still haven't seen the new card yet.
That's true.
Haven't seen the Royal delivery. We haven't even seen the Royal troops either, but let's see if that may come in. I think that everybody loves their golems, so let's see, perhaps they're going to play that again. We know that was a winning move this time in the last game.
I wonder if the goblin emotes are going to indicate. Here he comes, the golem.
Oh, we've got a skeleton
The tombstone?
coming out.
And so we definitely are seeing a new deck here from Pink Potted Parrot. So far, we might have the same deck for Taunting Chris. Maybe he's confident in what he's going to be playing.
Yeah, you know, the Golem worked so well, and just sending it out again. So let's see. Now you've got the bomb tower there that is distracting to the Golem. So half of its energy is.
Has he done it again?
He has. Here we are.
I'm not sure if that's the perfect mechanic for that. That's going to be done. That's taking the King Tower down again to 3,000 health, but maybe he just doesn't care. Maybe it's intentional.
Yeah, well, let's see.
He's that confident in his deck because this does look to be almost a counter to his rotation. We still have a lot of cards we haven't seen coming out from Taunting Chris aside from Flinders Crabs. So we're not quite sure what his rotation might look like yet.
Now we're doing Golem again.
This tower's
and there
gone.
was closer placement this time, so
20 health.
yeah.
Taken out. Too much damage for that. Straight onto the King Tower with a good defense. The Golem's heading towards the right side Princess Tower, but it might not matter.
Yeah, all these skeletons are taking out the King Tower. 2,000
health left on Pink Potted Parrot's side. I think he said, I see your deck, Chris, and I raise you. Because this is just absolutely completely different than last game. Although
that tower is about to go down, and it's still got a super strong army that's heading up towards that King Tower.
And that's the trade that you make when you commit so much resources to one side. Is he going to be able to take it out? He's calling the good game. 2,000 health on both King Towers at the moment, but the mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to get a couple of hits in.
It sure is. Think that.
And that might almost be it. No, 700 health. That must have been pretty close to an attack animation on that. The baby dragon coming through. These two are out for blood. 45 seconds remaining. And he's chosen to put the tombstone on the Princess Tower side. We're going for 2 crowns rather than the full white. And the cannon is having trouble there.
Yeah, sometimes the cannon can't quite decide where it's targeting when there's so many skeletons out there.
So we've now got the Golem and the Mega Minion with the baby dragon comboed together coming through. Bomb tower's been taken down.
Now they just have to get through. It's down to 399. Surely that baby dragon or the Golem. Oh no, it's distracted and gone over to the other Princess Tower. So that.
Oh, and the mini P.E.K.K.A. with the whirlwind has pulled the cannon back. The mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to get. He dies just before he gets the hit through. 5 seconds left, going to be going into overtime. We do have a tombstone sitting on the Princess Tower left on Flinders Crab's side.
Yeah, that was sort of a wasted log. Are we going to be able to see the end of this overtime?
Taunting Chris has a lightning in his hand. He's got to have it by now. He hasn't used it in quite a long time. The tower damage that might be able to do to one of these towers with a little bit more chip damage could end it. I'm thinking 9 Elixir, running the tornado and the lightning.
It's down to 92, the baby dragon, there we are.
And we see it. Fantastic play by Taunting Chris on Flinders Crabs, which brings the match all the way through. Look, honestly, Pink Potted Parrot did a great job.
Yeah, I think we have to congratulate someone who's only played this for allegedly a couple of weeks. I mean, are you thinking full-time, no sleep for a couple of weeks to get this good?
Absolutely, like that was fantastic. So the key moments, takeaways from that match, there was a lot to break down, but let's start off with the 2v2. What do we take away from the key moments in there? What was the favourite thing you saw?
Well, you know, the working together was pretty good, and it was over pretty quickly, I seem to recall.
Well, they had the fantastic split on both sides, but then, yeah, the attack came through fairly concisely. But in that 1v1, I mean, I love the way that Pink Potted Parrot sort of changed his deck up a little bit. He also changed his strategy.
Yeah.
He went from trying to match that single lane back and forth, and just said, let's take it out. Yeah. He took one Princess Tower very early. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to hold it together, but it was very, very close.
Yeah, I think it was very nice use of the Golem on both players, so well done.
Absolutely. But we still have one more game tonight to see, and so stick around. We're going to go to commercial break, but we will be right back after these.
Good to see you too.
Thanks, Lee.
This is just clinical.
Back to the High School League Clash Royale, brought to you from the Sky Tower, live broadcasting here in Auckland, in New Zealand. And for those of you who are just joining us, my name is Jonathan Arkadian Jansen, and I'm here with Belinda Hope, aka Blendy, and we are here for the third match of tonight. We've had two phenomenal matchups so far. Like, these teams have been so tightly or well matched that we've had some great matches coming up. And the next head-to-head, let's take a look at it. We're going to be versing Oats from Mount Albert Grammar versus the Wrath of Frost from Mount Albert Grammar. Now, when I say that we have two teams so closely matched, these teams are literally from the same school.
That's amazing. I wonder if they challenge each other in their lunch times.
We're going to be seeing some interesting strategies coming out, I'm sure. Now, these are some of our most favorite descriptions. We've been told why some of the name origins of why we come through. Tell me a little bit more about Oats.
Well, you know what? They support eating oats for breakfast because it's very healthy.
They also believe that it's important to have fun when playing competitively.
And that's pretty nice. And they're up against Wrath of Frost. And now get this, Messi Don't Gem is a bench warmer who was brought in out of pure desperation.
Which is probably not the ideal way you'd like to be described by your own teammates, but it is better probably than how they've described Join Above. This is another one of their members who have been said that he is known for only two things. The first is the lesser known invention of the 2.6 hog cycle and his world-renowned double hog rage quit.
Wow. Let's see how this all comes together.
This is fantastic descriptions as well. I love to know a little bit more about the teams, which is why we're introducing our unofficial Caster's Choice Award, where we will be announcing who our favourite descriptions of. And I think Oats and Wrath of Frost from Mount Albert Grammar School, who I will be referring to from now on as Mags. It just saves my throat. So we'll see who's going to be taking that at the end of the day. But I love the fact that they support a healthy breakfast and that they feel that playing competitively should still be fun. Heading into our first 2v2. Straight off the bat, we've got Messi Don't Gem, who is the pure desperation play, and Join Above, who's the rage cycle, the Hog Rider rage quit, versus Ratchet and Clank and Tanky Online.
Now, Tanky Online loves peckers and is going to be one when he grows up.
That's a great aspiration to have. And so, starting off, we've got a pretty aggressive attack on the left-hand side top tower with an Inferno or a Lava Hound coming through.
We've got a Lava Hound versus Inferno Dragon. So let's see how they take on each other. Supported with a Magic Archer. Now that's an excellent choice because when that Lava Hound explodes and releases all its little lava pups, the Magic Archer, if it was still there, would be able to take him out.
But he got taken down fairly quickly, and the attack comes through quite strong. Double dragons here. The Miner got taken out quite quickly from the Valkyrie defense on the Wrath of Frost side.
Nice use of arrows to take out the Lava Hound and the Electro Dragon.
And so we're seeing pretty much about half of the cards so far come through. No Elixir really wasted throughout this game, which is good to see. There's some good efficiency. The Valkyrie just standing here unchallenged, taking down the Princess Tower.
That tower is about to go down.
It's done. First tower of the game. 1 minute 48 seconds left in the game with a big.
We've got a Sparky heading up the top that's been taken out by an Inferno Dragon before it could even do any damage. What a shame.
Oh, an Inferno Dragon and a balloon. Inferno Dragon's going to take the tower from the aggro from the tower, and the balloon coming through, still going to drop its bomb, a little bit more ship damage, and honestly, it's not looking good for Oats at this stage. 2 buildings, putting 2.
Now they're 2 the same, so have they got the same deck or a similar deck? They've both got the same card in there perhaps, or...
It looks like from the top we can see they've both got that card coming through. Good extra defense, just to take that a little bit of aggro instead of their Princess Towers if they do form an attack. But so far this has been fairly one-sided on the Wrath of Frost.
Now we've got a whole lot of dragons fighting against that balloon and the minion horde that comes in to support. That's nice placement of that.
Big attack coming through. We got the Magical Archer. The Lava Hound didn't quite get taken out, and so he's just going to pop and be more defense. And the Miner taking through that tower. Only 40 seconds left in this match. So currently, we are still sitting at 1 Princess Tower 2-0, trying to take out that King Tower, which is a little bit of an aggressive play.
Now we've seen some really interesting cards in this game, and just to point out, the banned cards for this one was the Electro Wizard and the Executioner. Now we saw Executioner in the previous games, and so this time we're not using that. We've got
huge attack coming through with 15
activity.
seconds left to go. Oats is desperately trying to take down that Princess Tower with the Miner, and is he going to get there with 8 seconds? He's fairly uncontested.
I think so.
The last attack didn't quite get there.
Yes,
with the rocket taking it out. And that's over. They took out with the rocket on the Princess Tower. They just managed to match it, but then it went into overtime and got taken out. Unlucky from Oats. Well played by the Wrath of Frost. And so that is with our 2v2. That's the first point gone and over to the Wrath of Frost. Oats aren't going to be happy about that.
Ooh, that's going to be some lunchtime challenging tomorrow rematch. Both very good teams, well played to everybody. That was so close, right down to the last second.
It was. I feel like the Wrath of the Frost of Wrath ended up or the Wrath of Frost. Who knows? They ended up doing a pretty well. They ended up structuring and attacking both sides fairly consistently. They had both towers down. I felt like Oats managed to just get that tower, sneak it in right at the end there, but it ended up not mattering because at the end of the day, in overtime, they were just going to take that tower down. It was a fairly easy get.
It was a nice last play with the rocket and the fireball coming in at the exact last second to take out those last towers. That was great.
And so moving into the next 1v1 to introduce our players, we have on Oats' side, Meow. Now, I've been told from the bio description that Meow is a girl. Moving into the next competitor in the 1v1 will be Pickle Gems. Can you tell us a little bit about Pickle Gems?
Well, Pickle Gems is literally a frog, apparently. So we've got a girl versus a frog.
Interesting.
Let's see how this match goes. So that'll be pretty exciting. And Executioner is banned from this one. Both teams have selected Executioner.
Really? So it's only going to be one card out, which is in the Executioner. Now, we didn't see Executioner in the 2v2 just at all then.
No, that was also banned.
It was banned with one of the sides. Do you think that is that gonna affect someone who's a 1v1 player more than who's a 2v2 player?
Well, not necessarily. I guess it depends on your play style and what other cards that you've built your deck with. But I mean, probably in that last game where we saw lots of troop cards, Executioner would have been very helpful to take out things. But it was a dragon selection there, dragon and balloon.
There was a lot of air troops coming through on that side.
So we'll see how we go with what these players bring to the 1v1 challenge.
And this 1v1 will be a best of 3. And so we did just have the 2v2, which is one and done. The points being awarded to the Wrath of Frost. And going into the 1v1, it will be the best of 3. So even if you lose, you still get a chance to reevaluate, maybe change your deck a little bit. Although tonight so far, we have seen essentially clean sweeps, whereas if someone's taken out the first 1v1, they've won the next one and cleaned the title out. And so it's looking like a little bit of an advantage here for the Wrath of Frost, but we're not going to know until we see these players prepare. And I just want to touch back again on our Caster's Choice Award, because you see, this is why I really like, we know that, to know that Pickle Gems is literally, keyword literally, a frog, I feel like is an important part of understanding what we're about to expect to see from the game. And so let's see how a literal frog can compete against Meow, who is, as far as we know, just a girl.
Our first girl competitor in our challenge, so well done.
Magic.
And so we're starting off here with a wizard versus the invisible royal. And the bandit comes through, takes some early chip damage down on the left-hand tower, but a mountain forward attack on the right-hand channel for...
Yeah, look, that wizard is doing significant damage. It was well protected, and look, it's down to 1100.
Yeah, so it's a good trade. So 1100 on the attack from the right side, on to Pickle Gem's side.
Oh, we've got a
Sparky versus
Sparky coming
the
up.
magical archer. Now he's just going to charge up and wallop that archer.
Yes.
Here we go with the big boom. See you later. Working through with full health, and she's also got a separate attack coming through on the right-hand channel.
Nice work with the P.E.K.K.A there.
Oh, the bandit did that. Just the bandit went invisible and actually completely mitigated the shot from the Sparky. I didn't know you could do that. It took no damage, and the shot was used.
The bandit can't be attacked while it's racing.
While it's moving?
Yeah.
That's really, really interesting. That, I mean, there's a phenomenal placement in that case to be able to activate the attack just as it goes. And we've seen the first cycle come through. So we've pretty much seen all of the competitors' decks at this stage. Taking an early evaluation, 1400 health for Meow on her Princess Tower, with Pickle sitting on 1100. This is looking like a pretty good match for Meow so far. The spooky Royale coming down. Now 1100 health. They've changed the match onto the left-hand channel, which isn't ideal for Meow. I'd imagine she'd want to keep attacking on that right-hand side, and so she does mount a pretty good defense coming through on the right.
Yeah, well, look, you know, we've got the P.E.K.K.A coming up one side, Sparky coming up the other side. Will either of them land? Oh,
huge defense. This is actually what I'm using currently as my deck almost. I put down a skeleton, Sparky behind him, do some big damage.
Yeah. Look, the giant skeleton is such a good card to play against something like the giant P.E.K.K.A because the bomb will help to finish it off. And the Sparky was able to last much longer than it normally would.
But essentially rendered useless by the Elixir Wizard. And coming through onto the right-hand side, the little mini P.E.K.K.A's left over after that's cleared out. The skeleton bomb's going to be left over.
And we've got 10 seconds left, and we haven't had much damage to the towers.
500 health, here he comes. The P.E.K.K.A needs to be stopped here. Great distraction, but the battle ram's going to come through. One attack, the poison takes out the tower.
Look at that.
Well played by Pickle Gems. Pickle Gems, Pickle Games, Pickle Gims. They're off the frost.
Also excellently played by Meow. That was a very strategic attack. I liked how they had the split attacks with the P.E.K.K.A and the Sparky, and excellent use of the...
Yeah, she did well. She had a combo in her card. She knew what she was going to play. I think, unfortunately, there was just a little bit of extra elixir value coming through from Pickle's side, and then the persistence attack through that left lane.
But we really only saw it in the last few seconds. They were very well matched for that entire game.
Absolutely.
And then it was just coming down to those last seconds. How can you extract the best value in a few seconds of overtime?
And I felt like Meow actually had it in the first minute and a half of that game. She had a favourable trade starting out. She had some really nice elixir trades coming through. Unfortunately, it was, I think the key shift in that game was when the momentum moved into the left lane.
Yes.
And then she was defending instead of attacking. And if she wanted to choose to attack, she had to sacrifice elixir to put something in that lane.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
she was unfortunately never able to transition
she'd
back.
managed to get one tower down to 1,000, 1,100, and perhaps sticking with that lane to finish it off would have won the game.
Absolutely. And so what sort of, do you think, again, I ask you this every time, and I'm going to ask you it again, do you think it's a small change from Meow to be able to maybe turn this around, or do you think it's a completely new strategy?
I think probably they could both play the same cards again. And we'll see how closely matched it is.
You think a couple of different changes in play would end up making a difference?
Ooh, I think maybe just probably just sticking to the same track and keeping with it until you've finished off that tower before, you know.
I like the confidence. I like the confidence, hopefully. But we will see how what sort of games coming out. So remind me again, for this match, we've got the Executioner banned on both sides.
That's right, yes.
And so we won't be seeing anything from that. I feel like I'd want to see a small change in from Meow's side was just something to deal with although the Sparky and the Skeleton King, or the
Giant Skeleton.
The Giant Skeleton is a great combo. The Electro Wizard coming through on Pickle's side was just a complete counter to it, because even if he gets in front of it, it's just going to stun him every time and reset that charge up time and basically make it useless. And so I feel like that's a little bit of a weak strategy that she needs to address coming into the next game if she wants to turn it around.
Yeah, probably a minion horde would be good to help to combat that Electro Dragon, perhaps.
Yeah.
What else? Maybe a building just as a distraction would be useful as well.
Let's see if she takes any of our thoughts and comments into as advice and see what she pulls out for the next game. So Pickle looks like he's got the same starting cards, the exact same start as last time.
Maybe we will see a rematch.
We will see Poison coming out for a little bit of early chip damage on the tower, plus making that wizard very weak. And takes it out completely. The mini picker coming through. And he's going to chase the battle ram over to the other side.
But the look followed up by the skeletons there. That battle ram is gone, and now it's a strong army of some skeletons in the picker.
I would agree with you if it wasn't for that magical archer using absolutely perfect counter to what was coming through in the attack.
That's why it's one of my favourite cards.
It did.
So good.
Yeah, clearing out those boards is phenomenal. But so far it looks like almost the same strategy coming through on Pickle's side. Why change what's working? And same thing for Meow. I don't think we've seen necessarily a change in what she's got.
Now that bomb won't take any building damage, sadly.
Ooh, just missed. And here comes the Sparky coming through with the Dark Knight. Now the question is, do we have that Electro Wizard sitting in his hand, ready to take down that Sparky?
Potentially, but look, that Sparky is going to take some serious damage on that picker there.
And the zap coming through to try and get rid of those skeletons who would have made quick work. And here it is. Renders the Sparky useless. I feel like there might have been some insider knowledge. I have a feeling that Pickle might have known what kind of decks Meow plays.
Potentially, yes.
Just from being schoolmates, and he's using that to his advantage.
Ooh. Some angry bystanders watching.
So we've seen pretty much a full cycle here. Interestingly enough, an observation I've just made is that you see that Pickle has played 11 cards now, and Oates has only played 9, now 10, but they've still got a similar amount of mana. And so there's actually a mana advantage, or an elixir advantage, sorry, coming through on Pickle's side, where he's earned a little bit more value from what he spent.
A nice defense here. We've got a split attack coming up both sides. Feel like we are going to see some damage, I would expect, on this right-hand attack.
So the Electro Wizard comes out again. I feel like Pickle's just going to hold on to that every single time when the Sparky's played to see how, just to completely mitigate that attack. And so now it comes down to the defense. Towers fairly even. 15 seconds left in the match with 800 health. The Poison comes down to take down that King Tower a little bit lower. It's being cleared out.
What do we do in the last 7 seconds to get those towers down?
We will be going into overtime to clear out this one. It's no longer going to be a match of or a contest of the King Tower. It's going to be the first tower that falls, which will be a Princess Tower. The Sparky comes through with the Bandit, the Electro Wizard.
We haven't had any attack on Pickle's towers at the top.
She has not been, now has not been able to break through that formidable attacking base.
Look, the Poison actually won it that time. You know, it was just chipping away while all the other bigger cards were fighting it out against each other and occasionally doing a little bit of damage, and that's what won it in the end.
And the Magical Archer as well, sitting behind, like you said, shoots through all the units, and so if they had placed the defense through, it would have just shot straight through and taken that little bit of final damage on the Princess Tower. And so, interestingly enough, we end up seeing another head-to-head rematch.
Yeah.
Similar result. In fact, I think even a stronger performance from Pickle. What do you think he did differently there to really solidify that win?
Well, you know, they're playing the same cards kind of in the same order. I think the way to change it up would just be when you've had the first cycle come through and you see how the other player responds, and you're either going to repeat it or you're going to change it up. You need to just hold your cards and just see what happens if you can hold that elixir a little bit longer to play maybe the second or the third card that comes out of the cycle, just as a surprise to shake things up a bit, because the other player's probably ready going, oh yes, I know you're going to play Electro, let's play with this.
I was sort of hoping to see Meow sort of bait out the Electro Wizard and hold the Sparky, and then once that was played, deal with that, play the Sparky, play the skeleton, the giant skeleton attack, and try and push that attack forward. Unfortunately, I think that Pickle ended up just being a little bit patient with his. He had so many other options that he'd be able to hold on to that card and then just wait, and that mitigates the outcome really, and nothing that Meow could really do. And so that ends up being a 2-0 in the set 1v1, which means that the Wrath of Frost ends up taking away the victory for tonight. And so let's take a look at the results for tonight's game. First off this afternoon, we had Nossal versus Rusty Boots, and Nossal came around with it was a close but also very clinical victory. They did a fantastic job of breaking through Rusty Boots' defenses. In our second game, we had Flinders Christian Community College and Flinders Crabs versus Elixir from Green Bay College, and again, Flinders take away the victory quite decisively, but it was a fantastic match, to say the least. And then coming through for our last match of the night, what we've just finished watching, was Oats at Mount Albert Grammar School, who are in favour of a healthy breakfast, versus the Wrath of Frost, who have a frog on their team. And so that is what we had for tonight. I hope you all enjoyed. Touching off on our final thoughts and comments, we have a Caster's Choice Award to give out.
We certainly do.
The first Caster's Choice Award ever.
We love reading the information about our teams because we want to share with all of you who we are watching.
Exactly, and I feel like we got to know everyone on a personal level. I just want to touch off on we've discussed this during the breaks of who we think who really deserves this award, and I feel like everyone's told us a little bit about themselves. Flinders talked about how they've got their first esports team. We had Green Bay talking about how they, what decks they've been playing, which cards they've been working through. But Rusty Boots at Catholic Regional College, as an honourable mention, I felt like they just let us know, yeah, sure, you might be an under 15 chess champion and that's amazing, but I felt like I had a window into their personal lives by understanding their dog Max and that he beats his younger sister.
Yeah.
I can just see it, coming through their eyes, and so I really enjoyed that as an honourable mention. But the team that really took it out for me, the team that impressed me the most tonight, came through with the Wrath of Frost from Mount Albert Grammar School. And so the bonus award for tonight, they ended up taking out their game, and they're also taking away the world's unofficial Caster Choice Award.
The prestige that goes with these things is incredible. So make sure you tell everyone at the assembly tomorrow.
Absolutely, because I mean, to say that someone on your team who won their game was a bench warmer out of pure desperation, morale booster, and to have the inventor of the 2.6 hog cycle and the double hog rage quit on their team, and a frog, I feel like that's just one of the most fantastic bios that we had to work with. And so I want to thank you, Mount Albert Grammar School, for coming up with those that great description. That is all that we have for you tonight, though, and so I hope you enjoyed our games. We had some very close ones. We had some intercontinental battles. And
I want to congratulate all of our players tonight because they were top-notch. Like, we saw some fantastic battles, excellently matched teams playing at the top of their game, and keep practicing.
It was phenomenal, and then maybe next week we'll see some new cards being brought out. And so we want to thank you for all of you who are watching at home, for all of our players from here at the High School League, and we cannot wait to see you next week. And that is the High School League Clash Royale Split 1 Week 2. We're finished for tonight. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
And this might be game. It's one push and that's it.
We've got every single kind of dragon, apart from Electro Dragon. Look at all of that mess. This is insane. All the rocket, we've seen that before. Will it be enough?
But the double rocket comes out. That'll be enough.
That's it. And in the, actually on the, the longest
5 HP in that top left with 3 seconds left. That could be the point.
Brought to you by Vodafone. The future is exciting. Are you ready? TCL for the next level visual technology. And JBL, enhance the way you listen.